Officials from the U.S. and Iran holding high-stakes nuclear talks in Oman today. This coming just weeks after the Islamic Republic rejected President Trump's first attempt to negotiate. So the question is, where do we go from here? For answers, we turn to Iran's senior program director at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies, Behnam Ben Taleblu. Great to have you with us, my friend. I'm just curious, as you watched all this happen in real time, what's it like? Tell me about the conversations that can be had. And as I mentioned in the intro, where might we go from here?
Well, it's great to be with you in studio, and we're actually living through history right now because the Iranians and the Americans just wrapped up their first round of nuclear talks. They promised to actually meet again. That's reportedly what the Iranians just said. Saturday, April 19th, again, I believe it is. There'll be round two of the next indirect nuclear talks. And allegedly, if one believes the Iranian statement put out, they had a brief direct meeting at the tail end of their indirect negotiations as well. So this is already on the first hand, on the optics, a win for President Trump because all throughout maximum pressure in term one, the Iranians said no, no, no to negotiations. When Biden was in office, the Iranians insulted Trump even further, saying that Qasem Soleimani, the chief terrorist that Trump killed when two U.S. presidents wouldn't pull the trigger against, his shoe was worth more than the president. So now this is a massive collapse politically in the Iranian position. And now that which the Iranians have been losing in the region since October 7, they are now trying to win back at the negotiating table. So just because talks are coming doesn't mean things are going to get better anytime soon.
Listen, they're under extreme pressure, economic pressure, and I think that the feeling is globally that this president is obviously not like the last one. This one, if he says he may do something, he actually might do it, and I think there's a great deal of concern. Let me share, though, this sound from the president, who is, in effect, saying it's not against the Iranian people. We need to make a deal so that their lives are better, but their leadership has to figure it out or else. Listen to this.
And we're going to let them thrive. I want them to thrive. I want Iran to be great. The only thing they can't have is a nuclear weapon.
Only thing they can't have is a nuclear weapon. And yet, they were flush with cash during the last administration, something that has to change.
Indeed, something does have to change, and it's not just the nuclear quest, in my view, and as an Iranian American, it's the regime itself. This is a regime that has quite literally been trying to kill President Trump because of President Trump's policy successes against the government of the Islamic Republic of Iran. You have a 46-year track record of the regime saying death to America, saying death to Israel, and actually taking the Iranian people's resources and wasting those resources on this kind of anti-American revisionist quest to remake the Middle East in their Islamist and authoritarian image. So, unfortunately, as much as everyone does want what President Trump to have said to be true, the real impediment there is not the nuclear quest. The real impediment there is the regime itself.
You know, especially when you consider what pre-fall of the Shah Iran looked like. I mean, it was really this incredible jewel of the region, and yet since the fall of since the Ayatollah basically came into power back in 1979, it's been a vastly different country. We've all seen that. Let me share, though, a quick map of some of the nuclear sites. And this is a real issue. If you're the administration, they're saying, listen, you want to do different things in terms of your energy and your infrastructure. That's one thing. But we can't have you having nuclear weapons because that's a much greater threat to the region. 30 seconds or so. How much does the knowledge here in Washington of not only what they have, but where they have it, play into these negotiations?
Well, it certainly needs to play into those negotiations so that there is actually a dismantlement. Because if the regime tries to rope-a-dope the president, tries to rope-a-dope Steve Witkoff, and actually not dismantle that infrastructure that you just showed, but put it away in storage or just delay the use of some of these materials at some of these sites, we're going to be back where we started from, because President Trump was right to critique the 2015 Obama-era nuclear deal, and it would be a mistake to fall for just a few changes to that same fatally flawed agreement.
But real quick, 15 seconds or so, there are those who would argue, but we got them to get rid of 98% by following the old strategy. Are they wrong, or are they misstating the obvious?
Well, they're very narrowly scoping the facts, because the reason Iran could significantly scale up its nuclear program so fast, even after President Trump left the deal, is because that material, that knowledge, and that infrastructure was not destroyed and was not actually shuttered. So this was Iran's snapback, the fact that they could always do this at a time of their own choosing, and now indeed does appear to be the time of their own choosing.
Well, you're just going to have to come in. We're going to have more conversations. This has been great. Thank you as always.
Thank you.
Ben, appreciate that.